Hi guys, welcome to another video about design patterns in C#. In this video, I'm going to talk about the factory design pattern. So the factory design pattern is another creational pattern, which means it's about how we create objects. So the factory design pattern is a way to kind of change the way that we build objects out of classes at runtime. A very good example for using factory method is that when the object that you are going to build is going to be decided upon by the user at runtime. So the user will select, for example, an item in a combo box or a radio button, and then you will choose what object to create according to that selection. I'm going to draw a very simple example so that you guys can understand this better. I'm going to create a console app. I'm going to call it factory method design pattern. So suppose that, as the name suggests, we are working in a factory and we are going to build different cars made by different companies, but we want to decide which car to build at runtime, and the user will be in charge of choosing which car to build. So in order to make everything loosely coupled, first off, I'm going to create an abstract class, public abstract class called car, and all the cars in my code base will derive from this base class. So I've got different cars. For example, I've got, let's say, I'm going to call these according to their company names, all right? So I'm going to say Benz 1 or 1, which derives, of course, from car, right? So this is a car. And then I'm going to say Benz 2, which again derives from car. And I'm going to just Control-C, Control-V so that I can copy. I'm going to say Benz 3. And another brand that I'm crazy about is BMW, right? So BMW 1 and BMW 2. These are the different cars that I can instantiate in my application, but I don't know just yet which one I'll need. So I'm going to leave these to the, I'm going to leave the creation of a specific object to the user at runtime. So these are the different cars that I have. Now, in order to implement the factory design pattern, the first thing that I'm going to choose to do is to create an abstract factory base class, which I'm going to call factory. This factory is going to have an abstract method. I'm going to call this abstract method, which returns a class of an object of car, and it will accept, let's say, the name of that car, right? So I'm going to say name. Of course, I have to put class here. Public abstract car, let's say make, right? Okay. So I'm going to I defined this abstract class in order to have as many factory classes as I want. For example, I want to have a factory class for all the cars that are produced by Benz, and then I'm going to create another factory class for all the cars that are made by BMW company, and then I'm going to have the next factory method. All of the factory class, all of these factory classes, of course, inherit from the factory. So let's create the first factory class. I'm going to say public class car factory, or I'm going to say Benz factory, right? So it derives from factory. And in order to implement and override this abstract member, I'm going to put my cursor here and then press Control and Del from my keyboard and then choose Implement Abstract Class from the Quick Actions list. Then I'm going to say another factory class for BMW. Factory, from factory, of course. And then I'm going to do the same thing to implement this. Now, for the method make, the make method, which we have got from this class, the base class, I'm going to make a simple switch statement based on this parameter. So I'm going to take name and I'm going to say, according to this name, do something. So I'm going to say name dot to lower, and then I'm going to say okay. If it is we are here. If it is for Benz, we've got Benz 1, right? Benz 1. If it is Benz 1, you have to return a new object of Benz 1. I'm going to copy this. If it is Benz 2, or if it is Benz 3, Benz 3, Control W to select the whole word, Benz 2. And I'm going to copy this switch and paste it here. BMW 1, right? BMW 1 and BMW 2. I don't want this part. And return new BMW and BMW, and it says that not all code paths return. Yeah. For break, I'm gonna say throw argument exception, right? Throw new argument exception. And this argument exception will say invalid model. There we go. That's it. Now let's clean up here and put these classes into their separate files. I'm gonna move type to new class. This is going to be a new class. This is also going to be a new class. But all of these are going to be part of a car class. Of course, it is not a good idea to put several classes in a code file, but anyways. So that's it for our factory method, factory design pattern. Now let's put this in action. I know that I want to have a car, but I don't know which car I have to instantiate. So I cannot say BM1 because I don't know whether I will need BMW1 or Benz 1. I don't know. The user will decide that, right? So what I'm going to do is to just create a factory of all the cars that are produced by BMW. So I'm going to say var BMW factory equals new BMW factory. Or I could also type factory, right? Factory. Because factory is the base class for BMW factory. And then I'm going to say, okay, now I need a car, right? But I don't know what car it is or it's going to be. I'm going to give it from, I'm going to take it from the user. So I'm going to say console dot write line, please enter the model. And then I'm going to say string model equals console.read line. And then I'm going to say, okay, now this is string. If it is null or white space, no, I don't need that. So I'm going to say that I need a car, but I don't know what car it's going to be, but I do know that all of my cars derive from a base class called car. So I'm going to say car equals BMW factory, and then BMW factory dot make, and I'm gonna say model. Now I'm gonna say console.read line, and let's do something. Let's say console.writeLine cw car.getType.name, and I'm gonna say the type of the car is or I could have used in a string interpolation, of course. Do something like this. Is car.getType.name, and let's choose this at our startup project and start it. So please enter the model. So I want to have a BMW 1, and then it says undefined invalid model, right? BMW 1. Oh my god, I should have written BMW 1 as a kind of as letters, not as digits. So BMW 1, the type of the car is BMW 1. But if I want to, for example, create a BMW 2, so the type of the car is BMW 2. So you see, I as the user can choose what class to instantiate at runtime. This is the beauty behind the factory method design pattern. So it looks like a factory, right? A factory that produces objects, and we do not know the type of the objects that we are going to need. The user will be in charge of that. So I'm going to ask the user what model he or she wants, and then I'm going to have my factory create that. And if I want to take a look at the files and the classes, the components involved in implementing this design pattern, there is a car, an abstract class that all of my cars derived from, and then I've got a base class, factory base class, which exposes an abstract method, and I can override that method, right? All of the classes that derive from this factory, like Benz factory and BMW factory, provide their specific implementation of this method. And this is the beauty of factory design pattern. So thank you so much for watching this video, and please stay tuned for my upcoming videos about design patterns. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.